This is my ultimate study technique tier list, the methods that you should use in your revision if you're trying to get the top marks. If you're using these methods at the bottom, what are you doing? Stop it now. What you really need is these bad boys at the top. And this will help you do the most effective revision you possibly can, giving you all my secrets on today's episode of Sustainable Study Secrets. Hello guys, welcome back to my channel and to another episode of Sustainable Study Secrets. Today's episode, I'm giving you my top study tips and tricks, ranked from forget it, meh, getting there, A++, and genius level study techniques. So without further ado, let's get on with it. Hopefully this helps you in your revision. At the very bottom, we've got the just forget about it, stop doing these things. Copying. Why would you copy anything down? This is looking at a textbook and just copying it word for word. It's very passive. It's not helping you. You're literally not retrieving anything and you're probably not going to be taking anything in. Highlighting. Why are you doing this? It's just as useless as copying things down. If you are highlighting, you need to be doing it in the right way. When I say highlighting here, I mean just highlighting words and hoping it goes into your memory better. If you use highlighting in the right way, it can be effective. But that is not what I'm talking about. Next on the list, we have multitasking. You are not being more efficient, you are simply doing two tasks badly. Why are you trying to watch a YouTube video at the same time you're doing practice questions on a completely different subject? It's a waste of time. Stop multitasking, just lock in on one task at a time. It will be way more effective revision. Then we're getting on to the meh, like it's a little bit better than the previous level, but it's still not good. Untimed practice papers. All well and good being able to write a beautiful 30-mark essay for English literature, but if you cannot do it in 30 minutes, what is the point? You need to be able to do these things in time conditions. You need to be able to do a whole practice paper in the time allocated in the exam, or you're not going to finish and then you still won't get good marks. We have ChatGPT flashcards. ChatGPT is great for making flashcards. It's really helpful for if you're running out of time. But at the end of the day, you can just make your own flashcards. And if you don't want to make your own flashcards, get them off Anki, get them off Quizlet, use Gizmo. ChatGPT, you're just literally going to be copying things from ChatGPT that it is created for you. And that is a waste of time in itself. Getting on to the getting there. These are significantly better. These can actually help improve your grade. Condensing notes. Condensing notes can be very helpful because you're picking out the key ideas from things. So you might look at an entire page of your class notes and try and condense it down to just a few sentences. This is very helpful. I do this at university, but I wouldn't say it's the most active revision strategy, but it is certainly forcing you to actively engage with the content, which is what you do need for good revision. However, I think there are better strategies that you can use. Getting onto your A++ study strategies, this is where it's at. This is where you want to be. Timed practice papers. You get all the benefits of understanding how the marks are allocated in the exam, doing it under time conditions, actually practicing doing the questions themselves. There's no better practice for the exam than the exam itself. However, the reason that's not at the very top is because it's not targeted practice. When you're doing a timed practice paper, you are also doing topics that you are very comfortable with. If I'm getting 95% in A-level maths, I need to work on that 5% that I'm getting wrong. I don't need to be doing the other questions that I'm particularly happy with. Also have flashcards. Why are flashcards not at the top? Just because certain people don't use them right. When you're doing flashcards, you need to do flashcards that are specific to your weakest areas, and you need to make sure you're using them actively, as in you're trying to answer the questions before you flip over the flashcard, which is something that a lot of people don't do. And finally, your genius level study techniques. What are they? How are you going to use them in your revision? We do have 12Q2. 12Q2 is essentially you force yourself to ask yourself 2 questions for every 12 lines of text that you read. This forces you to engage with the content because you might be really happy with it. You might be really happy with electrolysis, but if you're forced to ask 2 questions, you're forced to be like, wait, what other areas of specification does this link to? How did this come about? How do we know this works? Questions like that. Force yourself to ask why. Another one, it is blurting. Of course, blurting's at the top of the pyramid. Blurting is one of the best revision strategies ever. You not only focus on very specific topics, you can identify your weakest areas within those topics. It's a form of active recall. It's incredibly helpful. Next revision strategy. It is, in fact, the Feynman technique. The Feynman technique is the idea that you go and you explain a topic or a concept to another person who doesn't know it. So you go and teach it to your sibling or to a parent, or if they're not available, you literally just sit at your desk and explain it to a wall. The benefit of explaining it to somebody else is that they will inevitably have questions and you will be forced to answer them, and if you can't answer them, that demonstrates a gap in your knowledge and your understanding. In order to explain something to somebody else, you need to have a strong foundation of understanding. You need to have strong knowledge about that topic. And finally, we do have cheat sheets. So cheat sheets can be for processes or just for specific topics that you struggle with in particular. As in, I would have a cheat sheet, how do I answer questions on integration in A-level maths? There are a variety of ways that you can do it. Which method do I use? It could be a flowchart if it's maths. It could be as simple as a cheat sheet for a specific event in GCSE history. Maybe I've got a cheat sheet on the fall of the Berlin Wall. What were the causes? What were the consequences? How did it happen? When did it happen? Key dates, facts that I need to remember if it comes up in an exam question. This is a definitive list of the top study techniques that I believe you should be using. Stop it with these ones at the bottom. You're wasting your time. To get more effective the further up the list you go. If you found this video helpful, be sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next episode of Sustainable Study Secrets. Bye guys, love you.